actually, it's stupid. When we were kids, like 13 or well, whatever, we had the idea of forming the band. We loved Black Sabbath so much, they took their name out of a horror movie. So we did the same, and originally HIM stands for His Infernal Majesty. And that's a really spooky name. And all of a sudden, there were loads of problems with black metal bands, like in Scandinavia, burning churches and killing them, each other and stuff like that. And we didn't want to participate. We're not in that genre. We didn't want to kill anybody or burn any churches, So we just shortened it up, and it's pretty macho, isn't it? I like it, It's got a bit of like Manowar sort of vibe to AC/DC and all that, It's good, and it's easy to pronounce in every language, so that's good as well. We're not your typical Finnish band, but because, we grew up with bands like Led Zeppelin, Aerosmith, Kiss, stuff like that. Like Kiss, my first love when it comes to music. But then again, I've always appreciated a lot like folky singer-songwriters like Neil Young, Neil Diamond, Cat Stevens, people like that. And then again, the old Finnish folk music. So when it all comes together, hopefully we're trying to sort of like create a cocktail of all the influences, rather than sort of like trying to restrict ourselves artistically. So the difference, let's say we didn't start playing music because we wanted like girlfriends with like big silicone boobies and fast cars and beautiful penthouses and lots of money. We started because we loved music and we wanted to be a part of what our sort of like idols did. So hip hop, well, I'm like old-fashioned dude, I grew up with like the early Beastie Boys and Grandmaster Flash and Melly Mel, and I love Follow the Leader by Eric B. and Rakim and stuff like that. Nowadays, it's a bit too mellow. I don't like the lyrics that much. Well, 50 Cent's good. I like his album a lot. Goth rock, well, usually define it. It's a different thing in Europe and here and in England. Because in England it seems to be like a stigma. It's a really bad thing if you're a goth. That means that you're stuck in the early 80s or whatever, wearing too much eyeliner and your hair's all fucked up. And here it's totally a different culture. Then back in Europe it's more about dudes looking like Dracula, doing weird shit, and it's also, it's very weird for me. Gothic rock means like Joy Division, the Sisters of Mercy, the early 80s stuff, the more obscure stuff. And I think that our music has a bit of Gothic rock in it, but the melancholia, the sort of like sadness of the sound is a lot more Scandinavian. It's like Scandinavian music has always been really melancholic, really mournful. Well, hopefully, hopefully we're sort of like Wave with Flag, we're sort of like the defenders of the faith, carrying a message that, I think all musicians should do for the love of music, rather than for the love of money or whatever. I've met loads of irritating people throughout the years, and I just can't stand it, because I started out when I was 7 years old, so I didn't know anything about money, because, my mom and dad, they sort of like put the bread on the table at that time, and then I didn't know anything about girls at that time because I was 7. So I fell in love with like Gene Simmons' Blood. I thought that if I'm going to learn how to play the bass guitar, one day eventually I'm going to spit blood and fire and all that. But it never happened. So I still keep on trying. Well, I think that it all started because when I was about 13, I fell in love for the first time. But that girl fell in love with my best friend. It broke my heart totally. So that's when I wrote my first song. So for me, it's always been like emotionally really cathartic, just to clean up my system, my emotional system. So that's the reason why I do, and it's a lot more cheaper than going into psychotherapy, you even get paid for it. Well, this song called Join Me in Death, and that's exactly about the Romeo and Juliet sort of thing. It's about being in love that's so excruciating, that's so strong that you're sort of like thinking, are you willing enough to give everything away because of that love, which means that are you willing to join that particular person even in death. So that's very close to Romeo and Juliet, and it's just we had loads of problems in Europe because of that song, because people thought that we're sort of like asking people to kill themselves or whatever. But I think that if Romeo and Juliet would come out now, I think they would be banned from most of the places. So I'm not claiming to be the new Shakespeare, but there's good ideas behind what he's done, and they're eternal ideas, so they still work, and they still, it's just pondering about how much you're willing to give to that person you really love. they were touring with the Bloodhound Gang at the same time as we were really big in Germany. So they had their huge hit and we had our huge hit exactly at the same time. So we met in loads of loads of festivals and stuff like that, and just like had a few beers together and talked bullshit, and all of a sudden he loves Razorblade Romance, the album, so much that he just wanted to get it out. You know, same with BAM. It's like just meeting people that love our music so much that they really wanted to help us out here, which is excellent.
Oh, I was flying on a British Airways flight over to London, and this really bad movie called The 13th Floor came on, and I thought the song at the end was really cool. And then when I got there, I was in Switzerland or something, I turned on the TV and there's this really hot chick singing the song that I heard, and it turned out to be Ville Valo. So I was like, I gotta hook up with those guys, they seem pretty cool. So I saw that hot chick at a festival we were playing, and you know, I wanted to put on my game, see what I could get. I was like, so I'm really into your band, sweetheart. He's like, hi, I'm Villa. So we started hanging out, and we just played a lot of shows, a lot of summer festivals in Europe, and every chance we got, we would take our vodka over and hang out. And so many bands that you run into are all, you know, oh, I'm way too cool to hang out with you guys. So to see somebody that was actually willing to hang out with us was pretty cool. Because before that, it was Air Supply, Young MC, and Don Knotts.
I got turned on to him by, I flew to Finland for a skateboard contest, and there was all these ads all over the place about Razorblade Romance, and you know, him was just everywhere. I actually read it on the airplane in an article, so I just kept seeing it everywhere. I go to the hotel room, they have a #1 video, and I was there for 10 days straight, so I had to buy the albums right after that, and then every song was exactly the same. Like, I liked every song even more each time, which never happens. Like, so they slowly but surely became my favorite band.